Why was the Eden serpent sacred in Hinduism, Paganism, and Buddhism, but became evil in Christianity? The hidden truth why the serpent was always a symbol of wisdom before Christianity turned it into the ultimate villain. Have you ever wondered why ancient civilizations revered serpents as sacred symbols of knowledge, while Christianity transformed them into the ultimate symbol of evil? The answer will shatter everything you believe about spirituality and awaken something profound within your soul. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine you're standing before the tree of knowledge. A serpent approaches and offers not temptation, but illumination. This isn't the story they told us, but it's exactly how ancestral civilizations interpreted this sacred encounter. For the Egyptians, the uraeus serpent represented divine protection and royal wisdom. Pharaohs wore it on their foreheads as a symbol of connection with the gods. In Hinduism, Kundalini, the serpentine energy, lies dormant at the base of the spine, waiting to be awakened to elevate our consciousness to the highest levels of spiritual illumination. Notice how your perception is shifting right now. The serpent of Norse paganism, Jörmungandr, wasn't merely destructive, it represented the eternal cycle of transformation, death, and rebirth. Celtic druids venerated serpents as guardians of ancestral secrets, creatures that shed their skins symbolizing our capacity for constant spiritual renewal. But here's what's most striking. In early Christian Gnosticism, mystical groups interpreted the Eden serpent as hero, not villain. For them, it offered humanity the most precious gift, the knowledge that would free us from ignorance imposed by controlling deities. These groups were later persecuted and their scriptures destroyed by the established church. Feel how this revelation resonates in your heart. Shamanic cultures of the Americas always knew this truth. The feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl of the Aztecs and Kukulkan of the Maya were supreme deities, masters of hidden knowledge and spiritual transformation. They didn't tempt, they elevated. The serpent represents our own inner Kundalini, our vital force, lying dormant, waiting to awaken. When you understand this, you realize that the true sin wasn't seeking knowledge, but accepting that we should remain ignorant. Today's shamanic practitioners still work with serpent medicine in ayahuasca ceremonies, understanding that this energy dissolves illusions and reveals hidden truths. Native American tribes honor the rainbow serpent as a bridge between earthly and cosmic consciousness. Your DNA carries this ancient memory. Every time you feel that inner knowing contradicting external authority, that's your serpent wisdom speaking. Every moment of intuitive clarity that cuts through mental confusion is your divine serpent awakening. Count how many times today you felt your intuition whisper truths that your rational mind tried to silence. Comment awakening if you're ready to hear your inner serpent, and like this video so more people can awaken. Subscribe to the channel because your journey of self-discovery is just beginning. How Christianity demonized humanity's most powerful symbol of spiritual evolution. Now, it's discovered the exact moment when everything changed, when the serpent stopped being a spiritual master to become a demon. Brace yourself, because this transformation reveals one of the greatest manipulations in religious history. Take a deep breath and connect with this energy. In the first centuries of Christianity, hundreds of different interpretations of sacred texts existed. Gnostic groups like the Ophites venerated the serpent as humanity's savior. For them, the Old Testament God was a controlling demiurge, and the serpent offered liberation through true knowledge. But when Roman Emperor Constantine officially sanctioned Christianity in the 4th century, a specific version was chosen to serve political power. The wisdom serpent threatened the hierarchical structure of the nascent church. How could they maintain control over the faithful if people believed they could access divine knowledge directly, without intermediaries? Visualize this process happening. Gnostic texts being burned, spiritual leaders being persecuted, entire libraries destroyed. The Gospel of Philip, found at Nag Hammadi, preserved fragments of this lost truth. Those who say they will die first and then rise are in error. If they do not first receive the resurrection while they live, when they die, they will receive nothing. The demonization of the serpent wasn't accidental, it was strategic. Church fathers like Irenaeus of Lyon wrote extensively against heretics who venerated the serpent. They knew this symbolism connected people directly with their inner power, eliminating the need for external salvation. Feel how this echoes in your soul. Pagan cultures kept the serpentine wisdom alive. While official Christianity condemned, esoteric traditions preserved the mysteries. Jewish Kabbalah speaks of the primordial serpent as an aspect of the Shekinah, the feminine divine presence. Esoteric Islam, through Sufism, recognizes Kundalini energy as the path to union with Allah. Even within Christianity itself, mystics like Meister Eckhart whispered truths about inner divinity that dispensed with ecclesiastical intermediaries. Not coincidentally, many were considered heretics. American megachurches today still use serpent imagery, but only as symbols of evil to be conquered. They've completely inverted the original meaning, turning humanity's greatest tool for spiritual evolution into something to fear and reject. The serpent represents our innate capacity for transcendence. When you awaken this force, you no longer need external saviors, you become your own spiritual master. Reflect. How many beliefs do you accept without questioning? Comment. Freedom, if you're ready to question everything they taught you. And like, if this revelation touched your heart. Subscribe, because we're just peeling back the first layers of this ancestral truth. Why pagan traditions preserved the true spiritual meaning that Christianity tried to erase, while official Christianity transformed the serpent into a symbol of damnation. Pagan traditions kept its true meaning alive, and what they preserved will revolutionize your understanding of spiritual evolution. Connect with this ancestral energy right now. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a sacred Celtic grove. Druids recognized the serpent as guardian of Earth's mysteries, a creature dwelling simultaneously in physical and spiritual worlds. They knew the serpent's skin shedding symbolized our capacity for constant renewal, dying to be reborn at higher levels of consciousness. In Norse tradition, the serpent Jörmungandr wasn't just a creature of end times. It represented the eternal cycle destruction that generates creation, death, that enables rebirth. Vikings understood that without this process of dissolving the old ego, we could never reach our true divine nature. Observe how your perception is expanding. Hinduism, Kundalini remained untouched for millennia. This serpentine force dormant at our spinal base is our direct connection to the divine. When awakened through practices like yoga and meditation, it ascends through the chakras, burning impurities and expanding consciousness to cosmic union. Tibetan Buddhism preserves specific techniques for working with this serpentine energy. They call it inner fire, the ability to awaken spiritual heat that melts energetic blockages and reveals our original Buddha nature. Tibetan monks have mastered these practices for centuries, achieving states of consciousness that Christianity would consider impossible or diabolic. In American shamanic traditions, the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl taught that true knowledge comes from integrating earth and sky, matter and spirit. Indigenous healers still invoke serpent spirits for healing ceremonies, knowing this energy dissolves illusions and reveals hidden truths. Modern neuroscience is now discovering what these traditions always knew, that serpentine meditation practices literally rewire the brain, activating dormant neural pathways and expanding consciousness beyond ordinary perception. Even in Africa, Yoruba traditions venerate Oxamar, the rainbow serpent, Orisha, governing transformation and renewal. For them, the serpent is master of spiritual alchemy, the ability to transmute the lead of personality into the gold of higher consciousness. Feel this wisdom awakening in you. All these traditions preserved what Christianity tried to destroy: the knowledge that we are divine beings in the process of awakening, not sinners needing external salvation. Which spiritual tradition resonates most with your soul? Comment tradition and share which path calls to your heart. Like if you feel this ancestral connection, and subscribe to continue exploring these sacred mysteries that shaped humanity. How to awaken your inner serpent and reclaim the spiritual power they tried to steal from you. The most powerful moment of this journey has arrived, discovering how to awaken your own inner serpent and reclaim the spiritual power that was always yours by divine right. Feel this energy pulsing within you right now. Place one hand on your heart and another at the base of your spine. Breathe deeply 3 times. This is your Kundalini, your sacred serpent, waiting for lifetimes to awaken and elevate you to the highest levels of spiritual consciousness. Start by recognizing the signs that it's already stirring, sudden intuitions that cut through mental confusion, vivid dreams loaded with symbolism, sensations of energy running up your spine, moments of absolute clarity where everything makes sense. These aren't coincidences, they're calls from your inner divinity. Practice this ancestral technique now. Visualize a golden serpent coiled at the base of your spine. With each breath, see it slowly ascending, activating each chakra, dissolving blockages, burning limiting fears. When it reaches your heart, feel unconditional love. At the throat chakra, your truth expresses fearlessly. At the forehead, your spiritual vision opens. At the crown, you connect with the infinite cosmos. Pagan traditions preserved specific techniques for this awakening. American shamans use sacred plants, ecstatic dances, and ritual fasting. Celtic druids worked with crystals, power, places in nature, and deep connection with lunar cycles. Hindu yogis developed postures, breathing techniques, and mantras that accelerate this process safely and gradually. But here's the secret that will change your life. You don't need intermediaries or institutions to access this wisdom. The Eden serpent always whispered the same truth: you are gods in potential, capable of direct knowledge of the divine. Start today by integrating practices that honor your inner serpent. Meditate daily, connecting with your breath and vital energy. Study spiritual traditions that celebrate personal transformation. Question beliefs that diminish your spiritual power. Trust your intuition as sacred compass. Silicon Valley executives are secretly studying these ancient practices, understanding that serpent consciousness gives them competitive advantage in innovation and leadership. They know what religious institutions tried to hide: that awakened consciousness is humanity's greatest superpower. When you awaken your Kundalini, you no longer need to seek salvation outside, you become a direct channel of cosmic wisdom. This threatens systems that depend on your spiritual dependence, which is why they tried to demonize this transformative force. But you now know the truth that has crossed millennia. The Eden serpent didn't offer temptation, it offered liberation. And that offer remains valid for those who have the courage to accept their own divinity. Are you ready to awaken your sacred serpent? Comment "awakened" like this video so more souls can find this liberating knowledge. Subscribe to the channel to continue the spiritual transformation, and share with someone who needs to hear these truths. Your journey of spiritual mastery is waiting for your decision.